Today, we meet Mr. Adeolu Bajomo at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Is it too early to care about stocks and shares? We don't think so, but we will let the man tell you himself.
So our audience are the 18 to 34-year-olds. Can you please tell them more about the Nigerian Stock Exchange?
Okay, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is actually the second largest stock exchange in Africa by market capitalization. It has 184 listed securities, about 200 brokers, and an exchange fundamentally brings together investors, people who have money to invest, obviously, and people who seek those money to actually deploy on projects. Projects could be the strategy, growing a new firm, expanding your factory, and all of those kind of stuff, really. So when you match the two together and you do it in a manner that is regulated, i.e., there are rules of the game in terms of bringing your money in and taking that money and using it, then you start forming a capital market. Now, part of the rules of the game clearly protects investors as well, so that there's only a limit to what investors can lose. Part of the rules of the game also requires that those who are selling to investors are well trained to do that. Part of the rules of the game involves those companies as well, ensuring that they're actually accountable to the investors. So the investors, if they were to invest in shares or equity, the investors own the company. So even if you have one share of a company or you have 1 million shares, and the numbers may not matter sometimes, it could just be that it's a limited number of shares out there or a lot of shares out there. Okay. You are an owner of the company and you get to direct how the company affairs go. You get to see the annual reports, i.e. how the company is performing. You get to see the strategy of the company. So if you have a hunch, like some people had a hunch in Microsoft some many years back.
Yes.
And some people about 2 years ago had a hunch in Facebook.
Yes.
That's where you vote. That's where you put your vote, your money in.
Yes. Okay, so with that being said, and the NSE is looking to take on initiatives to provide more transparency. As you mentioned, it's important that a lot of consumers understand how these work. Now, the NSE has launched the Trade Smart campaign. Can you please tell us more about that?
Technology drives information and the delivery of information, because what investors want is access to information and timely access to information.
Absolutely.
So you can act on that information. Investors heard there was a bomb in France on Sunday. On Monday, securities in the travel, tourism industry was very, very soft.
Yeah.
They were able to react to that information.
I see.
Yeah. And the NSE has been investing hugely in technology. We have the fastest trading platform in Africa.
Nice.
But, you need to then connect your ecosystem into that platform. So today, really, with Trade Smart, what Trade Smart allows you to do is if you have a BVN number, for example, you can go on a broker site, you can go on www.nsc.com.ng, you'll see the list of brokers there. You can go on the broker website, basically, and if they have Trade Smart technology, effectively, you will subscribe to it. They will have to do KYC, it's called Know Your Customer, but it can be done in a pain-free way, in a relatively painless way.
Yes.
And once you've KYC'd, as a word really, you can download the app. They will give you all the other details and you credit some money into your account and you can start trading. If you already are participating in the market or somebody who's participating in the market, they can do exactly the same. They can basically reach their broker. If they've got the technology, it's downloaded and you go on trade. If your broker doesn't have the technology, don't worry. It's a minimum requirement for all brokers to have the technology. So many of them are also in the process of implementing it.
Now, why should the average 18-34-year-old care about the NSE?
I think the NSE is very, very important from a number of perspectives. I think it's been well proven over and over again that markets that develop, and develop efficiently and effectively have a strong capital market. So the NSE is right at the heart of that capital market. And if you see the history of capital markets, really, like it said, if you take the JSE, it was founded by the mining explorations. So people were going to mine for gold and diamond, but they had no money. So a few people came together, raised the money, gave it to the explorers, and they started the exchange. And you carry on and on. So if you want to build wealth, if you want to create wealth and make sure it's sustainable,
absolutely,
you're never too young to start. So the NSE gives you an avenue to to make investments, not savings, investments. So savings, you know what you've got and it grows, yeah. An investment could go up and down, but in the medium long term, it tends to go up. All the empirical studies on share ownership shows that it's probably the most robust set of investment you have. So if you're an 18 to 34-year-old, as part of your investment portfolio, owning shares is an essential part of it. Essential. You know, of course, having a savings you can fall back on is essential. Having, if you can afford property, that's all. But they're all parts of your portfolio. And the NSE having shares of companies that are listed on the NSE that you believe in, and you've done your research, and you talk to your broker. So don't just look at the prices. You have to do some research.
And it's very important to do research.
That is
very important to do research.
That is absolutely important, because if you don't do your research is your determinant of whether you're going to back a winner or loser. And your research is not a one-off thing. It also goes with time. One of the risks you can fall into as a young investor is what they call herd mentality. If everybody says you should be doing it, then maybe you shouldn't. If everyone say buy that, maybe buy it only after you've done your own research. You know. And if your research shows you should buy, fine. But you shouldn't be worried about taking a contrarian view if you've done your research. But what's important is you understand the company, you know the people who run the company, you understand, what the company is doing, what do they manufacture, where they're going to get their money from today and tomorrow.
And you actually believe in the company.
And you believe in the company.
Now, where can people find this information?
The NSE website that I mentioned earlier on is a fantastic source. If you go to our website, you will see the names of the listed company. You'll see a real-time ticker giving you the prices of the security. You could also, and very importantly, talk to your broker, because it's very important you get good advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and make sure you ask the questions. Keep asking. Don't worry. That I'm a novice. We all learn. We start from somewhere. And as you ask the questions, you do your own research, you explore, you become more adept to it.
All right, thank you very much. So just to summarize, do your research, get as much information as you can, go to the NSE website, which is www.nse.com.ng, ask your broker for advice, and just remember,
trade smart.
And it's a wrap. Please remember that with everything that has to do with money and business, information is key. You need to do your research on deciding if your idea can become a business or if that company's shares make sense for your long-term goals. Nothing good comes without some work, so get out there and make each moment count. Till next week, people, stay on the money.